When you're going through a hard thing, what I like to tell people too is that you need to know who your team is. Who is on your team? Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your best friend, maybe you have a coach, a therapist, a mentor. We as humans were placed into this realm where we think that we need to be alone or we need to do everything on our own, when primally we would have never survived on our own. We would have never made it past Adam and Eve by ourselves. It is very important to analyze who is on your team, and your teammates have to be those who support you, who are willing to listen, who are willing to mastermind with you to figure out a way out of whatever is happening, the ones who don't judge you for the experiences that you're having, or the way that you're thinking, or the way that you're feeling. Hi, welcome to Say More Words, a podcast that was created to emphasize the human experience through stories. I hope that you come here to learn, to expand, and most importantly, learn how to say more words. Speak your story, speak your truth, boo boo. We're so happy you're here. Hi, friends. How are you? Tamika here, your hostess with the mostest. I'm so excited to be here in this space with you today. I'm going to start off. The song of the day is I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie. Why? Because I've been on a bit of an emo kick. So we had somebody come into the space recently, into my favorite place in Colleyville, and we were doing headshots. And whenever I have people in the space who take pictures or things like that, I like to play music that they like because then you get more genuine smiles. You're just more comfortable. And um, so this one girl, she's like, emo makes me feel great. And I was like, I haven't listened to early 2000s emo in so long. And now I have been listening to it pretty regularly since last week. And I'm obsessed with it. And I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie goes along with the theme of today's episode, which is I'm having a hard time. What do I do? What do I do? I am so very thankful to share this space with you, whether I know you personally or you are just one of the followers or you were sent this by somebody who loves and cares for you. I'm just so happy that I get to spend every week with you. And I am so blessed that when you're having a hard time, you reach out to me because that's what I'm here for. I am here to be a light on the planet, to remind you who you are, what you're worth, and what you're capable of. I had a mentor recently tell me that, one of my gifts is making people feel seen. And whether you believe, well, no matter what you believe in, right? I believe in God and the universe and all of the things, but you can use this information however you choose to receive it. But my mentor said that one of my gifts is helping people see themselves the way God sees them, the way He created them, removing all of the masks and all the ugly to get to the root of who they are and how good they are and how good you are, right? How good you are. All of these things, who you were created to be before the world told you who you needed to be. And I help people uncover that. And what's really cool about that is that when people are struggling, I'm a really soft place to land. And it's one of my favorite aspects of my life to be a soft place to land for you. And so, whether I know you personally or you're here in the space, you are valuable to me. And I am so very thankful that this podcast has been a soft place to land for a lot of people to learn and to grow and to feel seen and heard. And I have just very recently had quite a few people who have reached out who are going through really hard times. Admittedly, I'm also going through a hard time. Lots of growth, lots of things that I didn't expect to experience this year was not on the vision board, but challenges and trials and things coming up. And so people are listening to the podcast to learn how to work through that. And the thing I'm hearing a lot, when you aren't finding the podcast episode that works for you or helps solve whatever you're going through, I hear I'm having a hard time. What do I do? Having a hard time. What do I do? First and foremost, you cannot shame, blame, guilt, or feel resentment towards yourself or whatever the situation is. We are only #human. I say that all the time. We're hashtag human, having human experiences, and life is good. I believe at the basis of my soul, no matter what I'm going through, that life is good and that there is joy in every day and that there are hard days and hard moments and all of that. I believe in that fully. But it's important, in order to believe in that for yourself, you have to be able to give yourself grace. You have to be able to believe that it's not happening to you because you're a bad person. It's not happening to you because you royally fucked up. Maybe you think that you did. But when we sit in that space of shame, blame, guilt, and resentment, that I royally fucked up doesn't help you find solution. It doesn't. And then you sit in it, and you sit in the grungy, and you sit in the terrible, and it's just uncomfortable, right? I hugged my best friend this morning, and she's like, "How are you?" And I said, "I wish I was getting better." And then I stopped and I go, "No, I am getting better. I am. I just got some hard information that I'm having to process." Okay. I am getting better. At the core of who I am good. Life is just interesting. And the only reason why I can think that and show up that way is because I remove that shame, blame, and guilt um, from myself to look at situations logically, to figure out how we move forward. That's step two. Sometimes we have to take the emotion out of it, and I think that's the hardest part. So you have to take the emotion out of whatever you're experiencing and look at logically what is happening, and then look at logically for the next right step. So many people have futuristic minds where they think like, I have to solve this right now. And I'm telling you, you don't have to solve it right now. You just need to do the next right thing. The next right thing. My business partner is a beautiful soul who, very similar to me, believes that everything will always work out. Everything will always work out. But she says regularly, you just have to take the next right step. You don't have to sprint down the road. You don't have to run a marathon. Just take the next right step. And it's that forward momentum that makes you move. That's what gets you out of your rut. Forward momentum. When you sit in the hard space that you're in, you basically just sink like quicksand. You don't get anywhere. You just sit in the curmudgeoniness of your life, when in actually you can get up, you can take a step. And then some days you may just take a half a step, and then some days you may take 10 steps, and that is okay. When you're going through a hard thing, what I like to tell people too is that you need to know who your team is. Who's on your team? Okay. Who is on your team? Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe you have a coach, a therapist, a mentor. We as humans, we're placed into this realm where we think that we need to be alone or we need to do everything on our own, when primally we would have never survived on our own. Ever, never. We would have never made it past Adam and Eve by ourselves. Okay? Primally, they had to have a lookout. They had to have people to rely on. And you also have to rely on people as well. It is very important to analyze who is on your team, and your teammates have to be those who support you, who are willing to listen, who are willing to mastermind with you to figure out a way out of whatever is happening. The ones who don't judge you for the experiences that you're having, or the way that you're thinking, or the way that you're feeling. Your team may not always support your decisions, but can give you guidance on maybe better decisions. Maybe you took a wrong turn. Your team should have the map to get you on the right turn, or to take the right turn or the right path to reroute you back into center. Your team, you know, the talk of unconditional love, we've talked about it here on the podcast before, and I'm not saying everybody on your team unconditionally loves you, but what I'm saying is that everybody in your team unconditionally supports you, where they can look at you, and maybe they don't support, like I said, that maybe they don't support your decisions, but they can help reroute you. They can be a safe space of comfort and guidance. You should not and cannot do this on your own. You need to have a team of people who are going to be there to support you and give you that grace and that love, because sometimes when we are going through a really hard thing, it is very, very hard to give ourselves grace and love. Oh gosh, it's so hard. You do need external people, and it's not that you're seeking external validation, but you're seeking an external foundation on which to bounce off of. Because I don't know about you, but when I get into this really deep, crevicey place, I get into this space where I am not my own best friend. And so I rely on my team to be my own best friend to get me out of it. Your team should not keep you in stuck places. They shouldn't wallow in that space with you for long. They can hold you deeply while you're sad, but they should not let you stay there. Okay? Don't call the friend who wants to burn everything down with you. Call the friend who's willing to listen to you vent and then offer solution to get to the next space. We do require other people in order to survive. We do. And that's so desperately important when we're going through a really hard situation. If you're going through a really hard time, you've heard me say it before and I'll say it again, journal, 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 journal. Get it out of your head. Don't leave it in your head, because inside of your head everything logical becomes an emotional hot mess. It becomes a space for you to just go off the rails. Don't stay stuck in your space by yourself. Journal. If you're going through a really hard time too, get outside. Okay. It's not just a vitamin D thing, but there is goodness in the air and moving your body. And it is summertime right now when I am recording this. It is June of 2024, and it is sunny and beautiful. And get outside, move your body, see how changing your environment allows your equilibrium to calm down. I don't know if you know anything about grounding. We can do a whole episode about grounding. Maybe I'll bring Sarah Beth Hurley or Sarah Beth Green back to the show. But ground yourself, walk around in the dirt, go plant some flowers, just be amongst nature. Get out of your blue light area and breathe. If anything, breathe. You can YouTube breath work videos and meditations. Breathe. Just breathe. I say it with my son when he's losing his shit, my 5-year-old, because he can't regulate his emotions yet. And every time I tell him, breathe in and breathe out, just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Because sometimes when we're in a place where all of these hard things are happening, we stop breathing. We stop getting that pure oxygen to our head, and obviously not for long because we need it to survive, but we get stuck in this space where we just and we clench. If you're going through a hard time, oftentimes I find that people refuse to give themselves rest during that too while they try to figure it out. And sometimes rest is exactly what you need in order to figure it out. In order to figure it out, your rest is exactly what you need. So rest. I'm not saying for days and weeks and months on end, but if you need 20 minutes, you need a couple hours, hell, you need an entire day. Rest. Take a staycation, breathe, go out to lunch with a friend and laugh. Okay, listen to good music, move your body, get in some water, have a fire outside, a bonfire, and talk. Okay, talk. Be amongst your people and get the words out. It is so easy to seclude ourselves during hard times and just know that you are not alone in that space. It is important for you to heal through what you're going through. You have to grow through what you're going through. And I know it's not easy, right? A really funny story. It's not funny, but kind of is. When I had to testify against my dad in court, we were all sitting in the courthouse lobby before they opened the court doors, and it's quiet. Yeah, my dad's family was there, which was an awkward thing. My family, the police officer, Jim Page was there. Some of his family was there. It's just quiet, right? It's just eerie. We're going into trial. And I'm the only one testifying against my dad. And it's dead silent. And my grandmother, God bless her soul, said, well, this will be a really great learning experience. At the time, we all were like, what? On what planet was I ever going to need to learn how to testify against somebody, let alone my own father? But years later, I'm like, it was a really good learning experience. I had to learn how to stand up for myself and how to talk and how to be scared and do it anyways. And this is a very dramatic example, but it's very true. We grow through what we go through. The best of us do. those of us that are still kicking it here, we're growing through hard things all of the time. So it's just very important for you to be in the space of, okay, sometimes I just ask. I had a friend recently who was going through a hard time, and I just asked him a simple question: what is this time meant to teach you? And he was like, why the fuck would you ask me that? Why? What? And I go, what was it meant to teach you? What was this time meant to teach you? And he was like, wow, I'm gonna have to sit in that. Because sometimes we have to get ourselves out of our emotional space and get us into a logical space. That's a really good thing to journal about and say, like, what is this time supposed to teach me? What am I meant to learn here? And you may not know it right away, but journal it on it every day. This happened today. This was frustrating. This is what I felt, and this was the experience. And gosh, what was I meant to learn? And honestly, the more questions you ask like a toddler, the more answers you get. Toddlers are the most persistent people on the planet, and they ask 1,000 questions. Why? Because they don't yet understand the planet. And here's the deal, boo boo, neither do you. You don't either yet understand the planet. And it's hard to even understand, not let alone the planet, but our own emotions and our feelings and the experiences that we're going through. So give yourself a little bit of grace. Go for a walk, recenter and ground yourself. Journal, what is this time meant to teach me? What am I meant to learn? And where do I go from here? You may not know today, and you may not know tomorrow, but take one step, even if it's a baby step, towards the light instead of sinking into the quicksand. Because the quicksand's warm and sometimes it's comfy, and we like to stay there and we like to meh, meh, meh. But I'm telling you, just one baby step per day is all that it takes to get you out of this space. I am here for you. I love you so very big. If no one's told you yet today, I'm so very proud of you for walking through life and all of the things that you're going through with such grace. You can do it. And if you need somebody on your team, I got you, boo boo. My contact information is in the show notes. Reach out to me. I'm happy to be on your team too. Okay? So I hope this helps. I hope you save this for the next time you're going through a hard time, because I am here and will forever be one of your biggest fans. I hope you have a great day, and I hope that tomorrow is better.